How's it going, everyone? David from dodmedia. Today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and results of shooting with this lens. This is the brand new Sigma 85mm f1.4 DGDN art lens for mirrorless cameras. It is amazing. I'm just going to go ahead and call it the Portrait Master. So Sigma sent me this lens ahead of its launch so that I could try it in a couple of shooting scenarios, see what kind of experience I got from it, what the user experience was, what the image quality was, what the sharpness was, and just, the overall user experience of using this lens. This is an honest review, as are all my other gear reviews. I don't accept payment for reviews, and I refuse to have censorship on my reviews if I find something that I do not like. And once I've done the review, I have to send the lens back. So with that in mind, let me say this right now. I will be ordering this lens as soon as it is released. This will be my new portrait lens. It is amazing. So I got the lens, I organized a shoot, I teamed up once again with the talented Toby Stevens. She's a model I've worked with a couple of times before in Oxford, so we had an afternoon. It was overcast, which is perfect because it's a big natural softbox in the sky. Here's a glimpse of what we got. A few years ago, I reviewed the original incredible Sigma 85 f1.4 art lens when they just released the E-mount version. This lens was optically phenomenal, and because it was native E-mount, the autofocus system on the Sony A7 III was really able to drive this lens fast and precisely. But it was a bit of a heavy chunk, because it needed to work on mirrorless as well as DSLR cameras. But this is the new exclusively mirrorless, smaller, lighter, but optically far superior sister lens, the 85 f1.4 DGDN art. Now, weighing what it does compared to its older brother, well, it's a much more balanced lens to shoot on a mirrorless camera. And because it's shorter and lighter, it's also more suited for video. In fact, this lens has video in mind because there are a few features that if you're a filmmaker using this on a mirrorless body, you're really going to enjoy it. First and foremost, it has a declickable external aperture ring, so you can control your aperture from a motor if you're setting this up on a rig. And it's declickable, so you can have a nice smooth transition of aperture. The other thing being that despite it being a mirrorless lens, it uses a step motor instead of focusing by wire, which means that if you want to be focusing with this manually, if you want to use a follow focus on this, you're going to get nice, consistent, smooth focus. You're not going to have that digital focus issue that you get with focus by wire lenses. And then of course, because it's using a really nice step motor, it can really take advantage of the autofocus system in the camera. So if your camera is able to use face tracking, your lens will be able to use face tracking nice and smoothly. And another feature that I just really like on this lens, I love that they're starting to add these now, is that it has a little custom button on the side, which I set to IAF, which essentially frees up a custom button on my camera body instead of having to use one of those buttons for IAF. Now, one of the ways that Sigma are able to improve the image quality while also making the lens smaller and lighter is by removing certain correctors in the lens and instead relying on in-camera aberration corrections. But I kind of have a feeling that either most people won't know how to do that, or most people will forget to do it when they have to delve through the labyrinth of their camera menu system. So I didn't turn on those corrections in camera. I just left it as it was, just to see what the worst this lens could provide in terms of image quality would be. I mean, come on. I am so happy with the images that we got from this shoot. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous lens. The degree of sharpness of this lens is the sharpest I've seen in any kind of portrait lens of this focal range at that kind of speed at a 1.4 aperture. And the bokeh, the bokeh, it is buttery smooth but contrasty. It just looks so aesthetically pleasing. It's just beautiful. I mean, I expected nothing less from Sigma. They are like the portrait masters when it comes to their lenses. Their 105 f1.4 lens is stupid good as well. but this just blew my mind. I was also effortlessly able to mount a caged A7 III with this lens on my Moza Aircross 2, which is something that I couldn't do with the previous version of the 85. And I'm really keen to see when the camera comes out later in the year, how this lens is going to perform with the Sony A7S III's autofocus tracking system that it has, where you can select a target and it will track it like that. I think these are going to pair so well together. So if you shoot portraits, or you just want a fast 85 prime lens that doesn't weigh too much and isn't too big, and you're shooting on Sony E-mount or you're an L-mount camera, then I highly recommend you get this lens. It's perfect. All right, thank you for watching. I'll be adding a link in the description once this lens is actually released. So if you're interested in getting this lens, it'll be an affiliate link, which means a portion of the sale will go to me without costing you anything extra. That way you can help support this channel so I can keep making reviews like this. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want more videos, reviews, and tutorials from me at dodmedia, then hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.